All right, quick one for you guys. We are basically going to run you through how to deploy your smart contract on the testnet and also on the environments that are available on Remix. In subsequent classes, we would be basically explaining. It's basically the same concept if you're still, deploying to the main net and whatnot, right? So the first step is to check that you have your license identifier. We're using MIT here, which is this part, and then you have your compiler version set, and we are going to be deploying on Sepolia Testnet at the end of the day, but I just want to run you through a couple of things before we deploy this. Right, so you have to make sure that your imports are done correctly and that your contract is also properly formatted. Right, you have to make sure your contract is properly formatted, and this contract is a simple contract that basically allows us to get information from Chainlink and get information about the city, the last temperature, the requested city, and things like that, right? So how do we deploy this smart contract to uh, the blockchain, right? So we go to the Solidity compiler, right? I want you to always toggle this on so that in the process of writing your smart contract, right? I want to zoom in. You want to have this auto compile turned on. It's gonna be like this, but I want you to turn this on, right? So it automatically compiles your smart contract on the go, right? It compiles your smart contract on the go, right? And you see we get this, green tick, which means we are good to go, right? And then we go to the deploy. So it's best practice that you basically deploy to the environment here on Remix before you even deploy it to a testnet, because the testnet tokens are actually very, very limited, so you do not want to use them up. You do not want to spend a lot of them. The development environment here basically gives you access to a couple of accounts with 100 ethers that you can basically always just use to test what you want to test, right? So note, do not always deploy to testnet, right? Use this first. It's faster, it does the same thing, and once you're sure, you can then deploy to the testnet or deploy to the mainnet, right? It's still the same thing, right? So we are going to be deploying on Remix VM Prague. So we just come down here, we see that the contract is selected. It's the functions consumer contract. You can verify that here at the top, right? You can see it at the top. It's the functions consumer contract, right? So you click on deploy, right? You click on deploy, you check your terminal, and then you basically get access to all of the information. We have the status, which says the transaction is mined and execution is succeeds. We have the transaction hash, we have the block hash, we have the block number, we have the contract address, we have from and to, we have the gas fees, basically everything that you get when you deploy a smart contract to the blockchain, right? So these are basically the functions that are deployed in this smart contract, right? It's very, very evident here. So you have all of this here, right? So what do you want to do next? So let's take this off and deploy now to the testnet. If you do not have Sepolia tokens, I basically would just add a link that you can basically get Sepolia testnet from. So to deploy on Sepolia, you actually need testnet tokens, right? So I have some ETH here from Sepolia that I would actually be using to deploy this smart contract, right? So I go to the environment and I click on injected provider, MetaMask, right? So you see my wallet address here, and you can basically see the network, right? It's very important that you check the network, right? I have the Sepolia network here, right, and my wallet address here. To confirm that, we can come here to my wallet, and you would see we have 0x994A5 and it ends with 53C and 19. You can confirm that it's the same thing. It's also showing my balance 0.153928. You can see it's the same thing here, right? And I'm on the Sepolia network, right? You have to make sure you are on the Sepolia network, right? So it's simply the same step, right? You come here and then you click deploy. You can see it's creating the functions consumer pending in the terminal, and then you get the pop-up notification from MetaMask, and then you sign the transaction. So I'm confirming that it's loading up. We should get a successful transaction soon. So you can see it's saying confirmed transaction, right? And then I get this, right? So we basically can view this on Etherscan also, right? So this is the transaction block, like the same thing that happened when we deployed to the remix development environment. We have the status, we have the transaction hash, we have the block hash, we have the block number, and we also have the we basically get everything, right? And let's go and see this transaction on Etherscan, right? So this is the transaction that we just deployed on Etherscan. It's saying this is a Sepolia Testnet transaction only, and we can toggle into the smart contract that we just deployed. So this is the smart contract. As you can see, it shows that it's a contract up here. This is the address of the smart contract, and then we can see that this smart contract was created 1 minute ago, right? We really don't have like any other thing inside the smart contract. So that's about it for today on how to deploy to either the remix environment or deploying directly to it's basically this